everyone. Welcome to the Joe Vore Podcast After Dark. Recurring guest, friend of the show. We are in person. We're doing this here. Patsy, I know her. We're on a first name basis, but this is HellaCougar. You know her. Hi. So great to see you. This is awesome.
It is so great. I am so happy to be doing this in person
I
together.
know. It couldn't have worked out better. We got a Cougar here. We got Stifler's mom right behind us. She's just, it's just beautiful. All we need, Paul Finch maybe trying to peek around and try to get a taste. If Paul popped in, that'd be great.
Such a cute cubby.
So probably not anymore. Maybe in the movie.
True.
Maybe in the original movie that came out in like 99 or 01.
So
right now he's probably a little bit older.
God bless him.
God bless him.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to ask, I don't think I've really ever asked you this, but I think I know the answer. The HellaCougar, it is a persona, but it's not really like a I wouldn't quite say it's a character or alter ego, because it really is you.
It's me, unfortunately.
Especially when we went out to dinner and you were talking about oh my God, you wouldn't believe it at the hotel. Sorry, I'm a little bit late. I was drinking White Claws, getting fucked up with the fraternity guys at the pool. I'm like, that's awesome. Okay.
I don't drink.
I exaggerated a little bit.
They were drinking White Claws.
Okay. I thought you said you had a few White Claws.
No.
I
was getting the skinny on White Claws versus Truly versus the
whole
you were
just getting the
market.
rundown.
Yeah,
okay.
I just had water.
Okay.
Water and chatting.
Water and chatting with Chads.
Yes.
That's amazing. The first time we talked, I loved, it was very it was really fun, but right, we got the whole rundown, what is a Cougar, your story, we got all of that stuff, but I just love how now we're going to be able to do more of it, because now, before we were like podcast, social media friends, but now I feel like we're friends.
Yeah.
We're like more, we're like a little bit more than acquaintances. We're like real friends now, just hanging out, having a chat, and this is just great, and I'm just interested to see what we all get into tonight.
Oh, I am too. And there's lots of stuff we can tear up.
Yeah. What do you think we should dive into first? What are you feeling?
Oh gosh.
Because
I think I wanted to quiz you on some things.
Okay. You're gonna flip the script on me,
didn't I?
Okay.
Yes.
Go for it. Bring it on.
Okay. Well, since we last talked,
yes.
I think you were going to share your Tinder profile with me.
Oh, that was something that we were going to do.
Some things I forget that I did not forget.
No, you did not forget. We still need to do an audit of
precisely.
Of my Tinder, my Bumble, my Hinge. You got to play the numbers, right?
What's your age range right now?
My age range right now, so I set it at I think it's like 20 to I think like 28, 27, 28. I'm sorry.
Dude, there are no cougars in that.
I know. I'm sorry. That's just I love you. You're super hot. Patsy, you're amazing.
What?
I don't think, people are looking.
My job.
No, but
I'm not selling
what my thing is, that I guess that's just not my thing right now. I'm sorry.
Gosh,
I'm sorry.
What? Oh
listen,
my God, you're gonna hear this. You're
okay,
gonna hear it.
Let's hear it.
Well, I'm just
Are
saying.
you telling people are gonna come after me?
Yes.
Are you like Beyonce? Do you have like a Bayhive that's gonna come after me when I say one bad thing?
I'm gonna launch my people on you.
Yeah, my mentions in Twitters. I'm like, wow, I haven't had this many
den.
people tell me they hate me since I was doing the street interviews. Like, oh my gosh, what's going on? That's kind of what I'm scared of. Okay, but yeah, like 20 to 27, because I figured 20, right? Like I'm 23, so I want to be able to, because most of the, commonly, right? Most of the time we're going to go out and get drinks, or even if it's not the first time, eventually we're going to go out and get drinks. So I want someone to either be close to being 21 or 21 so we can go do that. And I will say I have explored. I have gone where I'm just going to see what 50 and up looks like.
Okay.
And no, I've done it. I've given it a shot, because that's how I am. When I came out here, I like to do comparisons and things like that. So I kind of compare it to, I don't like down talking anything. I don't like talking about anything unless I've really given it a fair shot, or just at least humored myself, right? So when I come out here, all I hear is all this talk, In-N-Out Burger, In-N-Out, it's great. And people even ask from back home, they're like, ooh, In-N-Out, have you had In-N-Out? I think In-N-Out, and I get hated on by the local Arizonans and the Californians and all the Southwest and West Coast people. I think In-N-Out is incredibly overrated. I am not a fan of In-N-Out, and I get crushed for it.
Now you have 2 strikes, right?
And then 2 strikes. Oh my God! I got In-N-Out people. I pretty much have. I have all the Cougar followers of you, and all the guys that you date are going to be coming after me. All the Chads that love In-N-Out. It's to get a cheat day. I'm going straight to In-N-Out for some animal style fries, but. I'm like, and then people come at me and they're like, well, have you even tried it? I'm like, I've tried it like 4. I've given it 4 shots.
Okay, that's fair.
Right? And I figured that's fair. And here's my big gripe with it, just to kind of cover myself. I get it. I understand that it's inexpensive. So I understand I'm getting what I paid for. But me being like, I don't know if it's just being a Midwest guy, because I don't, but I just grew up really enjoying like a fresh hand cut serving of fries. And the fries at In-N-Out are always just very thin, and I don't feel like they're a good fries. If I'm going to go for a burger, fries, and shake, I want it to be really good. So I know it's more expensive, but like Five Guys is my go-to. I don't go very often, but it's my go-to burger place because they get the Idaho potatoes in, you get the real French fries. I can't even believe I'm going on this whole In-N-Out rant, but that's what I'm doing right now. But what I'm getting at here is I give things a shot, and I have explored around the 50 and up on Tinder, and it was a bit interesting. It was a bit interesting.
So you didn't feel the attraction there. Like, it just really didn't do much for you from what you saw.
Right, because in my mind, and I bet I wanted to ask you about this too, because I imagine you get a lot of guys that sometimes can be all talk and all about it. Then when it comes to the moment, they're like, oh my God, I'm here, I'm in front of you. And
yes.
I imagine some people, to use a sports term, they choke,
yes.
right?
Yes.
So can you share some of those stories? Because I imagine the talk can be hot and heavy, back and forth, or just really interested in just going out with you. But then, when they show up, they're like sweating through their clothes. They're nervous. They're like, oh my God, I just thought it was something that I just kind of built up in my head. And now that it's actually happening, I don't you never know how you're going to react to something until you're in the moment.
Yeah. And so this does happen, and it can happen anywhere in that phase of matching with someone to actually having them on your sofa and you're having a conversation, or you're moving into the bedroom. Yeah. Anywhere along that, guys will choke and check out. So sometimes it's usually when it comes down to meat. And either, I've even had some guys ghost me. Yep. Or not even ghost me, but stand me up. Like, I will go somewhere and then just no show. And they get really worried about someone seeing them. Yeah. Out in public with an older woman. They're uncomfortable about that, or their friends might find out. And so they might choke at that point. Or, okay, now they're in my house and, we're having a conversation. Yep. And there can be a lot of nerves. And here's the thing. And here's the thing for the younger guys out there who are listening. Listen. This is an important point. Important. Take notes. Just admit you're nervous. If you just be like, oh my God, this is nerve-wracking, make a joke out of it, it's fine. I mean, I get nervous too sometimes just meeting someone brand new. But that's the biggest thing. It's just like, don't try to fake your way through it because, hi, I'm 50 and I know what's going on. Yeah. So, and it's cool to be nervous. It's fine. Oh, yeah. I've done that before on it. I wasn't really nervous, but I was being like, I'm not very klutzy or clumsy person, but I went out to dinner with this one girl. This was over a year ago. And we went to a Mexican place. There was chips and salsa. And I'm looking at the menu. And I just totally, and it was one of those places where they have a whole bunch of paper and a pencil. Cause if you're going to build your own tacos, you just kind of put it together, one of those places. Yeah. And I just totally spilled a bunch of salsa all over it. And I forget exactly what I said, but I just kind of went along with it. And I was just she goes, I'm just they moved us tables. I'm I'm glad we're moving. I totally ruined that menu back there. She goes, oh my God, you did? I was like, yeah, I'm just super nervous. And she dug it. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to roll with it. You just own it. Yeah. And she thought it was funny. And but the thing is, you have to, the delivery, just because you say it, doesn't mean you're all the way home. That's 50%, maybe even less than 50%. I think most of it is the delivery. If you just say it with confidence, I just looked at it. I was just yeah, I'm just really nervous. Wow, you're so attractive. That might have been a little much if I would have said that, but kind of that vibe, right, what I mean? And yeah, especially for you, because you're I've been around the block. If you thought girls your age could see through bullshit and smell fear, I mean, it has to be exponential for you. You're
in that moment, do you ever try to rescue it, or because you can kind of see it trailing away?
I'm always laughing. We've gotten to know each other a little bit more, and I'm always laughing. And I think I'm really good at putting guys at ease. I like to think so, although sometimes I'm told I'm very intimidating, just the way I come off. But I just try to laugh. I think laughter just really, it helps you meet other people. It gives you confidence. It just eases tension.
Raises morale.
It's the best. It's the best medicine,
It's funny you say that, because my friend kind of said something, because I told one of my buddies from back home who's been on the podcast a bunch of times. Shout out Snowman. I'm going to have him on soon. He just got his first... he wants to be a college football coach, a professional football coach, and he just got his first graduate assistant coaching job.
Oh, that's
so
awesome.
Congrats to the Snowman. We're going to have him on.
Snowman.
Yes, we're going to have him on to talk about it. So I was talking to him. I was like, guess I had a very famous Joe Vore Podcast guest in town, and I'm like, guess who I'm going to dinner with? And he named a couple people. I'm like, well, do you remember when I had the lovely Cougar on? He goes, yes. I'm like, she's in town, and we're going to dinner. And it was funny. He goes, yeah, I don't know if he follows you, or like he, has went to your page when I've when I had you on, and you obviously did all the promotion and stuff. And he goes, her page is interesting, because she kind of goes back and forth between being kind of like mild, but also like is like some more explicit stuff on there, and you kind of get into some graver details. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of she is like a really good balance of where I could see where people might be a little bit intimidated because you are so confident. But I'm like, when I talk to her, I was just like, so smart, so intelligent, just great conversation. But also I was just like, she's just really funny, like has this like great, just sort of like, kind of like me, like kind of like nerdy, goofy quality where you just roll with it. Like nothing's too serious. Totally. So when you say that, I totally get it. And I just wanted to share that's exactly what I told my friend the other day. I was just like, yeah, when we went to dinner, like I'm like, yeah, she has all that. And that really is her. But she has this like great goofy quality where I imagine that was a little lower stakes for us, because we're just friends. We're media people. We're just hanging out. But yeah, I imagine like if someone's out to drinks or dinner or on a date with you, like I could really see how you could hopefully kind of break down that tension, because never been on a date with you, but I don't know if you would come off intimidating, but more so just the idea of an older woman is intimidating, and they can't get past like that mental block, like
and the pressure,
like, oh, she's not intimidating, but in my head I built this up so much I'm totally missing that you're just cool and we should just talk and hang out.
Yeah, so the gender thing is interesting with it too. So, first of all, there's the expectation. So first of all, the expectations in and around older women come strictly with porn. That's where the guys get an expectation about how an older woman is going to perform. Yeah. And what their role is in that encounter. And so, their role in that encounter, according to porn is, for them to be like some amazing performer with amazing stamina, with, and that they're coming in with that, and that they're basically just going to lay there, and that this older woman is just going to take.
They're just going to be submissive, and it's like
I say, like, and take them, treat them like a Swiss Army knife, and take them through all these positions, right? So, that's I think some of the expectation. Well, I don't know. It's such a visual.
No,
for
it's
me,
hilarious.
It
No, I'm laughing. I laugh at things extra when they're true. That's just very true. So that's why I'm laughing.
So there's that expectation. And there's also, just as a guy, there's always this pressure for the guy to be confident and to be the leader in the interaction too. So
it is a weird dynamic.
It is. And, and then there's this whole question, a lot of times it gets worked out in advance of like who wants to lead and who wants to dominate in the transactions, shall we say.
Transaction. What's going on here?
So, because I get confused sometimes. Is it, am I supposed to lead? Am I supposed to be more dominant because I'm the older woman in this and maybe I have more experience? Or is it that because it's the guy, he's supposed to be in that leadership and kind of setting the pace and everything? Yeah. And usually it ends up being a blend. And I hear this from a lot of younger guys, too, that they appreciate the directness that an older woman can bring in the encounter.
Because I tell you what, there is no, like, we were just watching The Office. My favorite scene ever, right? When Daryl just tells Kelly, how it is, and she does the talking head, and she goes, "What kind of guy tells a girl exactly what he wants? What kind of game is that?" Like that is like our generation, though.
It is, and it's been really interesting through my experiences over the last 3 years. Just seeing what dating looks like for younger people today, and it's what's so wild about it is I had expected more advances to be made in terms of like equality and feminism and those kinds of things. And when I see things at work and principles at work in dating and how guys and girls still are, like I'm absolutely shocked that more women aren't initiating and asking more guys out.
Yeah.
I am so shocked that women are still sitting back and, not just only sitting back and waiting for a guy to come ask them out, but like dictating all these rules about how that encounter has to happen.
Yeah, and sometimes, not all the time, some people are shy, but I think the real problem is that, I see it out here, being in Scottsdale. I mean, it's like, there was a great tweet like a year ago. It's just like, sweetie, like you're not a celebrity. You're just in Scottsdale. Like there is some great truth to that. And I saw it would be interviewing. There'd be people that would not even look at me, and I'd be super nervous to talk to them and go ask them to do an interview. Then I just stopped asking them and stopped looking at them. And then they would get pissed and come up and say. So what I'm getting at here, some people are shy, but it's not good when it comes from a place of, I'm not going to ask someone, not because I'm afraid to, I don't feel like it's my role to, but it's expected. Like, why? Like, they should ask me out. Like, I'm hot. Like, they should ask me out.
And
like,
then all
give
the rules
attention.
around it. And, well, I didn't like how he asked me out, or he should have done it this way. And, and I don't like that. And I don't like how passive women still are in the dating dynamic.
Yeah.
Like I'm really surprised that there's not more ownership and leadership and I don't know the right word.
Initiative?
But,
initiative.
That's a great word. To just go get it. And let me tell you, I don't know that younger women understand how hard it is for younger guys or any guy to ask them out.
Yeah.
I mean, I know just even in Whole Foods a couple months ago, I saw this really hot, like, yachty guy, right? And I had my card in my pocket. And I was going to go give it to him. And I mean, my hands were sweating and my heart was beating. And I was just like, I got a dry mouth. And I was so nervous. I mean, this is me, a 50-year-old woman.
Yeah.
And it's hard. It is not. And I totally choked, by the way. I did not do it.
But you went for it.
I didn't. I kept
No, you didn't go for it. Oh, so,
I didn't. I choked.
You choked by not even going up to him at all.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
No, complete, like... Yeah,
tough scene.
It's embarrassing. I own these things. Yeah. But it's hard, and I don't know that women understand how challenging and how difficult and nerve-wracking that is.
It is.
We still have a ways to go with that. We really do.
Dude, because I know, like, I'm totally guilty of it. Like on Bumble, where the girls message first. Yeah. A girl can just say, hey, and I will respond. But if you're on Tinder... the girl, 99.9% of the time, isn't going to message first. And if you don't come up with something clever enough, or if it's too much like something else, like I can't say, hey, how's your day going? Someone will be like, this is lame.
Right, that's so generic. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. And I don't... I joke around about it, just getting that, hey.
Yeah, with a bunch of Ys.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I wonder how many is like acceptable. Like 2? Is it 3?
I mean, if you get to 3, it's just like, we might as well be naked.
Too much?
Yeah. I think 3 is just like, we must both be naked right now. Like, I think that's what it is.
I'm gonna do a social experiment.
Do it.
I'm gonna start, like, I'll be the first one to message on my Tinder, and I'm gonna put like 5 Ys and see what happens.
No, if I see, if a girl, no, it's been a long time, or maybe that was just in my dreams when a girl texted me, hey, with a bunch of Ys. But if there's hey with a bunch of Ys, or I get a hey you, I'm like 6 to midnight real quick. I'm like, whoa, like, what are you doing right now? Like, let's just, like, punch me in the face, put a cigarette out of my neck. Like, let's just go crazy. Because obviously you are DTF so hard right now. And really it's just like, hey, what's your roommate up to? No, I'm just kidding. But but seriously, there is that would be a great social experiment, because
I'm going to start playing.
I'm telling you, I can say from experience, if there's a few Ys in there, I'm like, I'm at attention. You have my attention.
That is so funny. Yeah. So I don't mind if a guy just messages, hey. Like, first of all, I know what I'm dealing with. A younger guy, like, I mean, what am I going to expect there anyway? And again, it's hard, especially if someone's bio is freaking blank. It's so hard to because you want to make something relevant or comment on a picture or a bio.
That's what I tried to do.
But if they got nothing, then
like, what am I supposed to send you when it just says this is a joke, but clearly it's not. You're lonely at night. Like that's what I always like.
I'm here for you.
Yeah, like should I just roast this person? Like, yeah, you say this is a joke, but you're obviously super lonely at night or whatever. One of the guys I used to work with at Daily Dropout, I'm like, because he used to always now he's had a girlfriend and they broke up and he has another girlfriend. But I guess what he used to do on like Tinder and all the apps and stuff, he would just say, hey, do you like Pop-Tarts? And no matter what they would say, yes or no, he would just agree. So if they said, ew, no, he'd be like, oh yeah, me either. So you want to come over, kill a bottle of wine, and talk about our problems? And apparently that would work all the time.
That's awesome.
I'm
Take
like,
note.
but what do you think? Like, that's good. Like, that's different, right? It kind of makes you go like, what the fuck? Like, I'm like, I think that kind of, I'm like, I can see it. Like, I can see how that works because there's no one out there asking about Pop-Tarts and just being like, you want to come over and kill a bottle of wine and talk about how much we hate ourselves or so, about our problems.
That's a good one.
Isn't that kind of a good one?
That would work on me. I did have a guy who said at one time I think he said one of his opening things was, do you like raisins? And so of course I go straight to the Urban Dictionary because I'm like, oh my God, what is raisin?
Is this code for something? Yeah, smart.
I'm 50. What the heck do I know? I've missed, generations of dating.
Raisins in my day were in cereal.
Oh my God. I'm like polling everybody I know that's younger. What's the hidden meaning of a raisin?
Yeah.
And then I think he came back with something like, I was like, yes. And he goes, oh, that's too bad because I only have dates or something.
Okay.
I was like,
got it.
Yes. I never went out with him. But I did think that was kind of clever and I was relieved that. Yeah. So what are you looking for on Tinder?
What am I looking?
Are you like one night stand? Or are you looking for something more meaningful, friends with benefit? Like,
honestly, I'm not. I have not been active at all. Maybe once in a while I'll go through it. So I really don't know what I would be looking for. But I guess to play along, if I was like consistently swiping, what I would be looking for, I don't know. Maybe a little bit more than like a one night stand. I kind of went through that whole phase, but I wouldn't say I'm looking for like anything long term or very serious. Like I'm so just like, I work really weird hours right now, and I'm just working hard on trying to get, my real career going. Yes. So I just couldn't have the commitment to do it, and I'm just honestly I'm just really enjoying what I'm doing right now. At least in the moment. So it'd just be nice to have someone that like once a week, a couple times a month, where it's just like, hey, we can go out, we can get dinner, we can go do drinks, find little fun things to do. Nothing like, we're going on a big trip or we're doing a weekend trip somewhere. That gets to be where, you're a little bit more serious with someone. Yeah. But if I could just have someone where I could go out and like a couple times a month, go try a new bar or go to like a speakeasy or try a new restaurant, I think that would be something that I would be okay with. And then you see where it goes from there. So if I was on Tinder actively going for it right now, I guess that's something. That's kind of the pace I would be going for.
Okay, and is your Tinder game the same as your bar game in terms of what you're looking for? Or do you use Tinder differently than going out to the bars?
Great question. Well, again, it varies because sometimes, it's sometimes you're just looking on Tinder. It's just like sometimes you're swiping like, oh, this girl looks so cute and innocent, but I'm looking for something a little bit crazy right now. So it could go a little bit back and forth. But when I'm at the bar, honestly, I just like talking to people. Yeah. And if it goes further than that and we end up going home or whatever, then that's fine. But I wouldn't say, I learned a long time ago, especially my freshman year, going to like frat parties and stuff. I just learned to not go out with any expectations. I always learned, like, if I focus on having fun with my friends and the people that I'm there with, we're just going to naturally attract people and end up talking to people because we're having a good time. Yeah. And I don't want to be the guy that like shows up with his friends and then immediately gone, immediately gone and just like scouring for girls and like running off like a I don't even know what you would call it, but just running off from them and just going out on my own and trying to talk to any girl and, see which one, if anyone, bites. Like, that's what you do as a freshman. You get away from, you get out and you meet people and you're like, just full of cum and horny and just like totally ridiculous, you're just ridiculous. You're 18 years old. I'm not like, shocker, guy, 18, Arizona State, is just like a freak show. Like, it's disgusting. I look back on it, I'm like, thank God that was forever ago and is somehow acceptable, right? And but like now, I'm like, I'm just gonna go have fun with my friends. And ever since I learned that and just went out with a small group of friends and we just had fun, we end up meeting so many people. And whether I ever see them again or anything advances romantically or intimately, I'm like, fuck it, whatever. If it does, great. If not, like I don't go home anymore upset being like, I can't believe I'm coming home alone.
Right.
Never anymore. So I wouldn't say I go out looking for anything, because when I'm looking for something, it never happens. But sometimes I get surprised. Just go out to have fun. You end up meeting someone. Things happen. Great time. So that's kind of the mind frame that I'm in.
I think it's a great mind frame.
Thank you.
I think it's really healthy.
I like it.
And it's, it's kind of like that Buddhist thing, not being attached.
Yeah.
The yogic thing, not being attached to results. So because when you're not attached, then you don't get disappointed.
Yeah.
And it keeps you just enjoying the moment that's in front of you rather than, being, always searching and on the hunt. Which I know I struggle with sometimes when I'm on Tinder all the time, because I'm always on the hunt.
Yeah. So
always
what,
on the
so
prowl.
what are you looking for on Tinder? I want to flip this back at you, because I know we see all of your content, but what exactly are you hoping for? Like, do you
entertainment.
Do you think you've moved, we know that. But do you think, have you moved past the phase? Like, would you ever settle down, or would it have to be an extreme circumstance?
It would have to be an extreme circumstance, I think. I'm not, there have been a few guys that it's funny, the phrase that comes to me, if I were their age, it would be great, because I would probably want to pursue something with them.
Yeah.
I don't know how practical it is.
True.
I just don't know. I don't know how the dynamic would actually work in a dating situation. So I don't know. I like to say that I remain open to different possibilities for all of this, but right now it's just really about my own exploration of my sexuality, of people, of guys, of all the dynamics that go into it. It's just interesting for me. It's one big experience and experiment. And I don't know where it's going. And who knows? I mean, I could be on the plane tomorrow and meet some guy my age, and there goes my brand. But I hope not. I keep telling God, please do not send me anybody.
Don't send the person.
I do not want to fall in love right now.
No, don't. Don't do
it. I mean, if it was a younger guy, okay, that'd be great, because that would play into my
brand,
story. But,
yes.
But, hey, I also just have to go with life as it presents itself. But yeah, I just I've not found younger guys either, that have been willing or interested in carrying something on. Yeah. I think that cougars for them are a novelty. It's maybe just a one night
bucket list,
a couple encounter kind of thing. And one of the reasons I like younger guys is they do have their own lives. I don't have to babysit. I don't have to get emotionally involved.
Because they're always with their because they're either out of college or in we're always going
they got their career stuff going on. So it's great, because I am very independent, and I have my own life and my own projects and my own travel and my own work, and my family and my friends. And I'm not sad right now, or I don't feel like I'm missing anything in my life by not having someone sharing in that. Yeah. And I don't know if I had shared with you, I have a roommate who's my gay best friend.
Right. Okay. And you told me about him, but I didn't know that you guys were roommates.
Yeah. So we live together, and, for all intents and purposes, he is, like my life partner. Yeah. And so I have that companionship. I have a lot of those needs met. So really it's just the physical needs that I don't have met in my life that, I go out and find elsewhere.
That's true. Yeah.
So all those emotional needs and those things checked off that most people look for in relationship, like
someone to talk to.
Yeah. I've got that covered, that intimacy in terms of that friendship and emotional connection with someone. So I have that. And if I didn't have him and that relationship in my life, I don't know that I'd be doing what I'm doing today. Yeah. Because I think I would be looking for something more substantial.